What kind of rice is used in Chinese cooking? I love the Chinese food we get from takeaway shops, and often to save on the cost we will cook our own rice at home. This is good, but the rice never seems to have the same texture as takeaway rice. It's less sticky, and much harder to eat with chopsticks. I usually use plain long grain rice as that's what I have in the cupboard. Does anyone know what kind they would use in a Chinese restaurant or takeaway? Also, out of interest, what kind is used in authentic Chinese cooking? I am well aware that this is vastly different from what we eat as Chinese food in the West.
Well, in Chinese cooking, we use a wide variety actually. Typically speaking, medium or long grain rice, white rice, fried rice, sweet rice, or glutinous rice, sticky rice. You commonly see this at dim sum places in the sticky rice dishes wrapped in lotus leaves, among other places. There are others, of course, but those are the common ones you'll find since you were asking about Chinese takeout. The shorter the grain, the more sticky it will be. However, that doesn't mean that long grain rice should come out grainy either. I suppose different restaurants will do it differently. Around here they generally use long grain rice for white rice. This is how my mother taught me to make rice. Wash rice a few times till there isn't any more murkiness. Add water till it reaches your first knuckle on your pointer finger when the tip is just barely touching the rice. Should generally work for any amount of rice. Bring to boil. Turn to simmer, covered. Check back in 10 to 15 minutes if the water is mostly gone, and it isn't at the texture you like. You can always add a bit more water. Let it sit for a few minutes after the heat is off. In China, you'll find all different grains. I've seen both short and long grains, and have seen plain white, long grain rice served as well. Glad you asked. I'm a Chinese person who lives in Shanghai. Based on what I see and my girlfriend's preference, native young guys in Shanghai are after rice from Thailand, in Chinese, Tai Guo Shang Mi. It looks long and thin, just like at Talon 8 said. This kind of rice has sweet smell. Personally, I prefer rice from Wuchang, Wuchang, in a place in Heilongjiang province, in the northeast China. Wuchang rice is basically considered the best in China by elders. Also, rice in Chinese cuisines is served alone, while in many South Asia cuisines rice is mixed with pork or other kinds of meat.